I've been a big fan of Joe Rogan for a long, long time, right? It's one of the reasons I started my own podcast, you know, and I thought I'd love to meet the guy one day, maybe even one day be on his podcast. But the thing that never occurred to us was, why don't I just threaten his life and then he'll have to get us on the podcast? And that's the approach that one creator known as the Liver King has taken. And wow, it's not gone well for him. It's really not. Now, let me refresh your memory. I'm sure you're all aware of the guy, but who is the Liver King? Well, currently, he's the guy who's just been arrested for making terroristic threats against Joe Rogan. Rogan was quoted as saying he is significantly unstable and seems like he needs help prior to the arrest. That is a fair assessment from Joe. Now, before he was arrested, he was known as like a caveman workout guy, someone who lived on, you know, only eating meat, mainly raw meat, hence the liver part, and doing unnecessarily theatrical workouts, as you can see here, to kind of just show a lot of bravado of look much of a man I am. And look, the guy is shredded. He's in an unbelievable shape. And naturally, people were thinking, well, is this a secret? This whole raw meat thing, this whole liver thing, is this the way to get jacked? And I mean, look at that. What? Because pull-ups off a bar aren't enough. You have to do it off a tank. Yeah, that's the level of theatrics that we're talking about here. It's utterly ridiculous. I mean, what are we... And look, the guy trains hard. I will give him that. He's obviously a hard trainer, but it's dumb, man. I mean, why are you shirtless on the fucking tube, for Christ's sake? And honestly, to answer the question why he's shirtless is he's not actually a big guy, right? He's not a big, tall, you know, broad in stature guy. He's a very small man who, you know, obviously has taken shitloads of steroids in order to grow these muscles to an inflated degree so that it makes him look big. When he's got his shirt off, you can see how, you know, how muscular he is, but he's not a big man. So he has to walk around all the fucking time with his shirt off just so that you can see, look, I do have these, by the way. And I get it. Like, I mean, if I was that in shape, I'd probably walk around with fucking tassels on. But still, it's absurd. I love the fact that no one's looking and he's desperate for them to look. Like, that is the whole point. He's such an attention seeker. And obviously, he was trying to make his workouts look as theatrical as possible. But the real thing that caught people's attention was the way and what he would eat.
Scrotums and scotch. That's what's for breakfast. Just reach into this bad boy. Look at these prized possessions that are all encased in all of the testicle juices, all the good sinew, all the incredible nourishment. That's called life supports life. And we already got a scrotum ready earlier. Took a couple of membranes off just to make it easy for the king. But I don't like it easy. More!
Does steak not count? But that's part of the shtick, right? It's, I will eat the things that you won't, therefore I will look the way that you don't. Pretty good line, actually. You could have used that back then. That was brilliant. Sorry. I am a marketing genius. But that was his thing.
What up, primals? Liver King here. We just took down a Mongolian yak. And where do you think we're gonna start? Of course, the liver first, because liver is king. More!
It's just a WWE character, essentially. I used to work in the butcher shop as well, and like, it don't smell good or feel good. It's not appetizing in any way. We've evolved to cook our food and then eat it for good fucking reason.
Valentine's Day is about spending time with the people that you love most. And there's no people that I love most more than my liver queen. Eat your heart out.
Oh no, baby, don't do it. Don't. Oh no. He's even roped her into this nonsense. I didn't even oh god. Nah, babe. You can't be doing that. There's always a woman who will love a man no matter what, isn't there? This is where women are actually amazing, because this guy is a fucking fool, isn't he? And like, she's just along for the ride thinking, I love him, so I will eat a bollock. Do you know what I mean? At least put some salt and pepper on it before you fucking...
In the modern world, we like to have our bowl of cereal, don't we? This is a primal version of your bowl of cereal. I got my testicles in farm fresh milk from Liver King Ranch. The most feared warriors, the Maasai. What they get down on is milk, meat, and blood. and they're expressing a higher, more dominant form.
A higher, more dominant form. It's a cartoon in his head. He thinks that like these warriors from hundreds of years ago were somehow more muscular than men are today. It's absolute lunacy. Maybe they were because of testosterone levels back then, because the fuck knows what additives are being put into modern food is having an impact on society. I don't know. But it ain't because they were dipping bollocks in milk. That's for damn sure.
If you still want your primal cereal to taste like Cocoa Pebbles at the end, put a little bit of whole beef in with your testicles.
So this is the shtick, right? I'm a warrior, I'm a beast, I eat primal food, and therefore I've made supplements that help with that. And that's where he cashed in on this whole image.
Liver with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because liver is king and I'm the liver king. We have this bone marrow, and when we're traveling or on vacation, this is what we bring. We bring the supplements.
And that's basically how we rope everyone into buying this shit. And obviously, this guy went super viral because it's the shock factor of, I can't believe I'm watching a man eat bollocks. People look at the body and they go, well, it must be fucking working. Whatever he's selling, I'm buying it.
If you want unlimited access to cars, money, and if you want to find your queen, then you have to fuel your efforts with ancestral supplements, liver, beef organs, and bone marrow with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because liver is king.
If you want to find a queen, then you have to eat like this. What? Women not going to fucking date you without them supplements, you fucking mug.
I'm curious how all your businesses were doing before Liver King, and then once Liver King, as far as like the social media presence, and then with Liver King growing, how that has affected all of your businesses.
It's wild, hardly at all. But in terms of how my other businesses grow, my other businesses grow 50% a year over year. So what kind of impact have I had on these businesses is really marginal.
The guy lied constantly. He doesn't want people thinking you're only saying this because your businesses are booming because of this character you've created and all of this nonsense that you're portraying as reality. If he said, since I started this viral character where I'm promoting my supplements constantly, my business has gone like that, well then you're going to take less notice of what he's saying. The more genuine it is and the more inconsequential towards his bottom line it is, the more you're going to believe him. The reality is there is no way his business's growth was exactly the same when he is going as viral as he was going and he was promoting it so heavily. And that was the clue early on that he was a fucking fraud. And remember, he was telling everyone he was completely natural.
The question has always been, do you take steroids? Do you take PEDs? The answer to that is no. I've always told the truth. I still tell the truth. So this is what I say to people that make this accusation. If you don't believe this is possible, then I suggest that you take that self-limiting belief, you put that in a box, and you bury that next to all your embarrassing and don't open your mouth about it.
And the funny thing is, his orders of steroids later came out, and it was more than £10,000 worth of gear each month. He was taking more than like Mr. Olympia contenders were taking. Then instead of just owning it, he actually ridiculed people for even insinuating the truth.
There's a lot of subprimals that are convinced that Liver King is taking steroids.
You'll find this in the literature. 50 years ago, we had 50% higher testosterone. Today, people take steroids to increase their testosterone by 50%. So why not just do these ancestral tendencies?
I mean, I got good T levels currently. I'm just saying
you say they're good because that's the new normal, and that's the relative difference. But how much you want to bet you could double your testosterone naturally by doing these 9 ancestral tenets?
This is the level of liar he is on, by the way. The way he like bamboozled this kid of, well, you think your testosterone's good, but it could be way better. It's changing the playing field to completely headfuck anyone who questions him.
The reason why people bring up the steroid thing is because it's almost like it's like a discredit.
Well, you hear this all the time, that hate always comes from below and hate always comes from within, right? When people really hate their lives, because most people do, they go to jobs that they hate, they come home to lives they don't love, they sedate themselves with enough bullshit, right? And so they hate themselves so much that they project that hate above them.
And this is why I've got no sympathy for this guy, because he didn't just lie. He attacked people who were telling the truth about him, were saying, you're on gear. They were just looking at his physique and making a calculated guess that the likelihood is on a very small frame like he's got, being that jacked, having that much muscle mass, with that low level body fat, it's unheard of naturally. And instead of attacking them on their correct points, he would attack them personally and go, you must hate your life. Yeah, you're pumping your body full of shit, you're miserable, da-da-da-da-da. And it's just such a nasty way to behave. People had every right to judge him. But who was onto him before anyone else? Joe Rogan.
Yeah, the Liver King thing drives me nuts because that guy's on steroids.
Well,
just shut the fuck up.
Well, so
I know he's eating really healthy. It's clear he's eating all these animal foods and, he's eating organ meat, which is very rich in nutrients. All that's true, but he's dodging the main bullet. Well, look at him.
Because, yeah. I mean,
Just, do you know how rare it is to have a physique like that and not be on steroids?
Because Rogan fucking knows. He's been training his whole life. He's been around all different kinds of people. He knows what he's looking at. And Liver King did actually respond to those comments.
Joe Rogan's a big person in terms of his platform. Big. How did that feel when he said, he alluded that you're on steroids or something like that?
yeah.
How did that feel?
Oh, Cloud9.
Really?
I've entered his ecosystem. Joe Rogan is talking about Liver King. You know how obscure I was to most of his audience before he's talking about me. And so I love it, and now I have the opportunity to engage deeper with this idea. I think it's dangerous when somebody points the finger and has a self-limiting belief about themselves or somebody else.
This self-limiting belief he keeps putting at people as if to say, just because you think you can do it doesn't mean I could do it. He's not taking data from one human. He's taking data from his 50 plus years on the planet of following all different kinds of sports, interviewing thousands of people and having a lot of knowledge about this sort of shit. He's interviewed the biggest bodybuilders in the world. He knows what you're doing. And I think if Liver King wasn't such a twat about the way he denied it and the way he ridiculed people for being right about him, it wouldn't have backfired as much as it has. And to be fair to Liver King, that was kind of working for him to some degree in the eyes of the people who actually believed him, until this guy, More Plates, More Dates, who's an expert in the field of steroids, got a hold of an email exchange of Liver King trying to buy them and consistently buying them. And you see here a whole list of shit that he was taking, and More Plates, More Dates breaks it down that this was very expensive, and it was more than most top bodybuilders could even afford. So not only was he lying, he was fucking lying. Then came the apology.
I'm making this video to apologize. Because I fucked up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Because I lied. And I misled a lot of people. I've stated that this is a complicated as fuck topic, at least to me it is, because before social media, I was rich and anonymous, and after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous.
Imagine throwing it in people's faces how rich you are during an apology. He's not in touch with reality. And by the way, how rich he is also highly debated. He himself claims he's worth 300 million. Online, the research shows that he's probably worth about 10 to 12 million. And this is more further signs of the level of narcissist that he is. Not only will he lie, in your face and ridicule you for not believing him, but he also wants you to think he is way more successful than what he is. Because if he is far more successful than what he really is, you're more likely to listen to him. You've got more reason to aspire to be like him and therefore do what he does or do what he tells you to do, which is buy the fucking supplements. So the lying went way beyond just his physique.
Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message, to bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who kill themselves, the 80,000 people a day that try to kill themselves. Our people are hurting at record rates with depression, autoimmune.
I lied to you because of you lot having bad mental health. I needed to help you. And the way to do that was for me to take all the juice in the world, get shredded, and say, you can be like me, but not tell you how I'm fucking doing it. Because if there's anything that's going to make people feel better about themselves, it's them struggling, doing what you're saying works, and wondering, why the fuck don't I look like him? I'm sure that's going to make them all feel great.
I've convinced myself that this had nothing to do with the ancestral message. I convinced myself that I'm not a competitive athlete of any kind, so who the fuck am I cheating?
You're cheating everyone who puts their hand in their pocket and buys your shit, my guy. You're not winning gold medals off of people. You're taking their fucking money. It's actually worse what you're doing. So anyway, Rogan's seen this and he reacted to it on his podcast.
Hey, Derek, you know how I got so jacked?
How?
I followed the 9 ancestral tenets.
Oh, I heard that works really well.
It's the best way.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Liver King confession.
You know the reason a guy like Joe Rogan hates this guy is because Joe Rogan is generally very self-aware and very open about stuff like that. And he just looks at this silly little man and sees right through him.
I'm making this video to apologize. Because I fucked up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Clearly, I did it wrong. And I'm here now to set the record straight. Yes.
I love the way Joe fucking cracks up about this. And this got 8.7 million views. So this is why at that moment Rogan was in the head of Liver King. Not because anything Rogan is doing here is personal. Or it's nothing any different than anyone else would have been saying at that exact time. It's just, it's on the biggest platform. And he's humiliated by it. But you did this to yourself, bro. You put yourself in a position where everyone is going to have a fucking go at you. And sometimes you just got to man the fuck up about it and take it on the chin. You can't just go after a guy personally because he said you fucked up. Like, you did fuck up. That's on you.
He did it for the hurting people. Yeah. Come on, Derek.
The comments.
And Rogan actually mentions on this podcast that he's heard the Liver King is desperate to get on the pod.
He was trying really hard to get on the podcast. And he's been trying really hard to get on now. He contacted a few friends of mine. And some of them that have, like Bert Kreischer, that had him on the show.
Yeah, he told me he's trying to get on.
Yeah, for what? For what? Say that more? Like, come on, this is dumb, man. This is a fucking, you ran a con game and you got busted.
Exactly. This ain't no fucking 20-year-old on YouTube just finding his way. This is a grown man. And actually, he should have had worse consequences. Like, you scammed people out of millions of dollars here. You having to make a little apology video and go about your way is the softest road out of this for you. You got off lightly. And this is the thing, right? It's some people get addicted to fame, right? I don't even think it's the money thing. Like, yeah, the money would have been impacted by it, but I think he fell in love with, I'm the Liver King, and he got all of this attention. And a lot of YouTubers, when you first get that kind of attention, it gets, you know, excitable and you get a bit addicted to it, but then you come back down to planet Earth. This guy's not coming back down to Earth. He's gone forever. And the fact that people stopped listening to him after that, I think it absolutely, mentally, it destroyed him. Because this was the guy he was before this all started. He was just an ordinary dude, man. Like, yeah, he's probably in decent shape, but very forgettable, right? Not a somebody, right? Which is what he became. And obviously, to everyone else, you know, just this Liver King guy, you're just a, you know, another YouTuber. But to him, he felt like the center of the fucking universe. And he's gone. He's gone absolutely mental over it. Like Kanye West levels of fucking crazy. And somewhere in this last couple of years, you know, with this fall from grace, you know, he looks at that moment where Joe Rogan is laughing on the podcast and all of those views and all of those people who found out the truth about him in such a way. And he looks at Joe Rogan in his mind and he goes, this is your fault, not mine, you. And that was where a very dark and bizarre road began.
Joe Rogan, bro. Just fucking invite me on. Release me of all these other things, man.
And now, a word from our sponsors. A lot of you are going away this summer, and the thing you have forgotten about is what do we watch when we get there? And if you want to keep up to date with your favourite binge-worthy TV show, or the latest documentary on Netflix, or even the Club World Cup, you're gonna need a VPN. And that is why you need Surfshark, the best VPN in the business. You can watch whatever you want, wherever you are in the world. And that's not all you get with Surfshark, they also take care of your privacy. Your whole online activity stays encrypted, so you can browse privately, you can block ads, and virtually travel the world in one click. It's super easy to use. If you're on your laptop, you can use the Chrome extension, and with one click of a button, you're back in the UK virtually, and you're watching your favorite TV shows. You can also use it on your phone, and the great thing about it is, with one subscription, you can cover all of your devices. And Surfshark also give you great security. If you're on a public network and you want to log in to see a bank, for example, Surfshark will mask your IP and make sure all your traffic is encrypted, so your personal info stays just that, personal to you. I use Surfshark every single day, and I cannot recommend them highly enough. And right now is the time to sign up because they have a mega deal on, which includes 4 extra months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price, plus a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is no risk in trying it out. All you've got to do is scan the QR code on your screen now, or click the link in the description below. Go to surfshark.com/Geordie for 4 extra months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price. Big love to Surfshark for looking after us, but for now, enjoy the video. It's the fact that he says, release me of all these other things. You can tell he looks at Joe Rogan and thinks, you are my savior. You are the person who, you know, you kind of got people on my back. In his mind, not in reality. He did this, right? You're the one who can get them off my back. Bring me on the podcast, get them to like me again. All is forgiven. I can go about my day. And it's weird that people look at podcasters in such a way, but they fucking do.
I've been short with people. Haven't had much of the TYME stuff lately.
I think he'd probably got massive aggression issues as well. When he says, I've been short with people, fuck knows what that really means. Do you know what I mean? What's that blue thing in his mouth, by the way? His mouth is constantly blue these days. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but a lot of people are speculating drug use, but I don't know.
See, but I'm tired. Yeah, look, I'm not really tired because I'm in fight mode. I actually am in fight mode. I have something to fight for. It's a principle. It's my family. Here's my family.
All right, so he's on about his family. Basically, he did this Netflix show called Untold Truth. It's a very popular series on Netflix. Pretty good. Actually, his episode was pretty shit. It was just his narcissism just overflowing constantly. And like, you've seen his family in there. Obviously, we've seen his wife earlier on, his 2 sons. He also has dragged them into this weird nonsense of eating raw animals and literally killing them immediately and getting them to take bites out of them. It's fucking bizarre. And like, I'm not being mean, but like, I'm not going to show his sons. But, you know, him trying to make out like his genetics are amazing. You look at his sons, no disrespect, but they don't look well. They genuinely look unhealthy. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but he needs to be focusing on them and looking after their mental well-being and physical well-being instead of worried about Joe Rogan helping him.
I'm picking a fight with Joe Rogan. I'm picking a fight. I am. Because it's out of principle. I'm not going to go fight with this guy. Do you see? I don't know. Hopefully you can.
That's fucking weird, bro. Like, why you got fucking Joe Rogan merch in your house, man? And it doesn't look like something that's just some random t-shirt. It's like something you spent money on.
You see that guy? Can you see him? That's him.
Imagine you're Joe Rogan, by the way, and watching some of this random shit. It's disturbing. I don't think you should be fearful of the guy because Joe Rogan would kick the living shit out of this guy. He has literally all the training in the world, Joe. He was knocking people out from being a kid, and he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But with him, I don't think he's the type to fight you, right? He turns up with guns or some shit. It is a bit disturbing.
What I'm hoping is that you, Joe Rogan, are thinking, I'm going to choke that motherfucker out, lights out, I'm going to choke him out. And I kind of hope that if you win, that's how it happens, because like to wake up from that dream, that's a good feeling. And then anything else that you could break on me, break it on me. I hope that you won't feel me tap. That's never happening, tapping, because I have something actually to fight for. Actually, that's my family. I have a principle to fight for. That's what I'm, and oh, well, what if he actually does what he's saying? What if that would be interesting? That would be interesting. What do you have to fight for? You're fighting. I hope you're mad. You should choke me out. You know how to do that.
Literally, Joe Rogan's just sat at home chilling right now with a whiskey. And this is the all one-way traffic. But the whole and that's where the mental illness side of it looks like it's coming in a bit, because in his mind, this is me versus you, and Rogan's literally not engaging with him in any way. And that's the level of how pathetic this guy is looking right now. Like, how old is he? What, 50 years old? I mean, I haven't even got enough time to go through all the videos he's made. It's insane.
In case you didn't know, I take shits on the ground. This is where I lay in the shower. I lay here on the ground. That's my enema bucket. That's my enema bucket right there. And that's what I'm about to do, is I'm gonna try and get a shit worked out.
Living in a mansion and shitting on the ground within that mansion does not make you a caveman. Like, it's so... Do you know what I heard about this guy as well? Like, apparently, when he's at the UFC events, people that sat behind him, they went on podcasts and they were like, the guy stinks. He doesn't fucking wash himself properly, because this whole Liver King thing, this caveman identity is, oh, well, I don't need to wash every day. That's not what a caveman would do. He's just making this up. If cavemen were brought into the future and they had hot running water, they'd take the opportunity to shower as much as possible. I'm pretty sure. That's a luxury. That's evolution. That's improvement. This idea that cavemen were somehow better than us because they didn't wash their asses is mental. And the saddest bit about this is how many people listen to that. What is it about narcissists online, man? They hook the morons. First and foremost, they get the morons to follow on.
Joe Rogan, I'm calling you out. My name's Liver King. Man to man.
What is going on with that belly button? Like, you can just tell that there's so much shit in his body that his small little physique can't hold it all. Like, his organs are bursting against the belly wall. Everything's just boop.
I'm picking a fight with you. Yeah. I have zero training in jiu-jitsu. You're a black belt.
I just realized he's holding golden guns. Nothing says primal caveman lifestyle like golden guns. Anyway, he's obviously been quite theatrical with that one, so you may be thinking, a bit playful, but not really that serious. No, it gets serious, because he decides to take a trip to Texas, where Joe Rogan lives, and it goes mental.
Presents like that, Joe Rogan, that's how we do it in Texas, you know? That's real man kind of stuff. We're coming to Austin. It's still happening, and we should help you end it. Well, actually, it won't ever end. now. We're just so deep into it that it will only build, and I actually will never go away.
The obsession is building and building and building. Joe Rogan. You can't keep the man's name out of his mouth. It's the fact that he can't let this go. He's saying it'll never be let go. It'll only build from here. That's really weird.
Come bearing a... See if I can... You want to see just a little...
I'm pretty sure he had guns there. I'm like, look, I'm pretty fucking sure Joe Rogan has guns, but Joe Rogan isn't making a constant stream of videos about this guy and then showing his guns saying, I'm coming to your hometown. This is very threatening behavior. And I wouldn't blame Joe Rogan for whatever the fuck he did after this point. I think it's all reasonable because this is a piss take at this point. If this man turned up to Joe Rogan's house where, you know, his family lives and Rogan blew his head off, fair play is what I'd be thinking, because he is asking for shit now.
Everything. Because Joe Rogan, we don't have to make videos to pretend anymore.
Rogan's not making videos. It's only you.
All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man to man.
Sent him Instagram videos. That's not really man to man.
You don't have to hold a camera. You can hold the hand of somebody that you love, because what happens next to you, you're going to need to remember that feeling. You're going to need something more than what you did to give you something to fight for, because I have my family to fight for. And then I'll die for him, you know that. And you're a black belt, but you've never come across something like this.
This stupid little twat, honestly. Joe Rogan's never come across someone like this. The man's fucking hung around with fucking the best fighters in the whole fucking world for the last fucking 25 years of his life. And there's a video that I think has since been deleted from Instagram where when Liver King shows up in Texas, he directly threatens Joe Rogan's life.
What's the capital of Texas? What's the capital of Texas? Houston. It's Houston. Guess what? You're dead, bitch. You're dead. You're dead.
At that point, if you're Joe Rogan, you know, you've got a few choices to make. You could find him and beat the fuck out of him and make a fucking example out of the little cunt. That'd be a big part of me that'd want to do that. But I think Rogan let his security team go, look, we're just going to go to the police with this. We'll start with that and see how we get on.
Okay, so what did they say?
They, listen, just take this with a grain of salt, but they assured me he's going to be in and out.
Yeah.
It's like, we got to process you. He'll bail out, but we're talking probably 24 hours.
24 hours?
Maybe first thing tomorrow when he sees the judge. I don't know.
Oh, so it's not an hour. He's going to be the 24 hours.
He must not listen to his wife, bless her. Like, she's just out here eating bollocks for him, and she can't even rein him in. Surely you want your husband at home with the kids and just having a peaceful life and not doing this nonsense. He's just so fucking selfish, he doesn't give a fuck. And obviously that was for the threats that he made on Rogan's life, which, I mean, at the very least, he deserves a fucking warning for. And to be honest, after he got arrested, I thought that'll wake the fucker up. You know, maybe now he will behave himself a bit and realize how stupid he's been. I think if anything, it made him more excited. It made him think, I'm getting somewhere here. This is getting attention, which is what he wants more than anything, remember.
He thought if you just put him in jail, have the Violent Crimes Division, have them come arrest him for a terroristic threat. And the whole time that terroristic threat you thought was a bomb or something inside that box was actually a present back for you and your mothership colleagues for having my wife and me in mothership that I've held on to for a while, just looking for the right time to give it to you. So the terroristic threat that was reduced to I actually don't want to say any details nor any names. That's how you get ready for a fight. And you thought the videos would stop, but they will never stop because, you know, when you fight out of a principle, you got an infinite amount of venom.
He's such a wanker, honestly. He's doubling down. He's actually doubling down. And you know why? Because he's desperate, because he's got nothing left. No one gives a fuck about you eating bowls anymore or your stupid training, because we know the truth now. And your only hope is that you're going to have some magical confrontation with Joe Rogan. It's going to solve all your fucking problems. It's the words of an absolute narcissist, man, and he just can't accept. You fucked this up.
Can you believe it? Restraining orders and stuff like that.
Apparently he's not allowed within 200 feet or something like that of Joe Rogan, which I think is a good idea, because what that means is if he breaks that and then you break his fucking legs or his neck, well, I didn't want him to be near me. He had it coming to him, and hopefully then that will reflect a lot better. But do you know what's funny is in his mind, he's romanticizing this showdown, this Hollywood showdown, where they stripped to the waist, skin on skin, fighting on a cliff, like it's fucking Lion King. It won't look like that. You will run, one of his big-ass security guards, probably bigger than me even, will pick you up, will slam you down, and treat you like the bitch that you are, and you won't get nowhere near Joe Rogan. That's probably what the reality will be. It ain't a movie, bro.
Bags under my eyes. Haven't slept a whole lot.
I don't know if I've ever seen anyone look more fucked than this in my life. He looks like the guy at Jumanji.
When you fracture the physical, don't sleep.
How did becoming a homeless man be aspirational to people? I don't understand.
I'm here in Austin for one word: family. That's the real reason why I'm here. Because a bully who thought he was big enough to say things about a man and then try and circulate and get more people to pile on. He forgot how that would affect the family.
So what he's insinuating here is Joe Rogan is a bully who invited a wave of hate on him and his family, and that is why I need to defend my family by coming after you, Joe Rogan. And weirdly, this is something I've seen a lot of as I've gotten older in life, where people want to rewrite history, right? They make themselves feel better about it because we're all, wanting to be the good guy in our movie. So when we do fucked up shit, whether it be lying, cheating, disloyal, any fucked up thing that you can do, you don't want to take accountability for that because that's hard. Looking in the mirror and admitting I was the bad guy here, I need to improve, I need to be a better person. That's the hard stuff. It's far easier to point the finger and go, ooh, it's all of you, it's him. That's the easy thing to do. And that is what especially narcissists do. So they rewrite history. So now he has become the victim. He is a victim of Joe Rogan being a bully. No, pal. You deceived millions of people. And you profited off of that. And all Joe Rogan did was laugh at you when it was exposed that you were the liar that you are. And because of that, you're now blaming him for the accountability that you should be taking being difficult to swallow. You're not even a man. You're a little bitch. Because real men, when they fuck up, they hold their hands up and they do it in the proper way. They don't say, I only lied to you because there's loads of depressed people. What the fuck was that? You're not a real man at all, mate. You can eat all the bollocks and fucking whatever else you want off an animal. You don't impress me. And the fact that he's trying to make Joe Rogan out to be the perpetrator and a bully in this is so fucking pathetic. I can't even get over it. What are you, 50 years old?
If it's bad and destructive and it affects one person, one man, I might allow that bullying to happen. But if it affects more than that one person, especially their family, I'm not going to watch that happen.
If this guy didn't lie, his family wouldn't be suffering right now. You put them in front of the camera. You did all of this. It's all on you. And there's one clip that I seen of him that made me go, I actually wonder what you're like off camera, because he was being quite nasty to his animals.
Cut it the fuck out. That's not okay. Sit. Both y'all sit.
The dog did nothing there. And he's just booting it right in the fucking leg. And I think he's the bully. He is the one, I bet. But off camera, behind closed doors, he is a bully. And he just can't take it when people point the finger at him and say, no, actually, you're out of order here. And it's funny because he's quite a classic case of online, right? Where narcissists, they do very well, especially early on, because they hit the internet with a wave of, braggadocious attitude of I'm this, I'm that. I've got all the answers. I've got all the money. You should want to be like me. And unfortunately, when people don't have self-worth, don't have self-confidence, they look at people like that and they think, well, I don't feel like that way about myself. So maybe I should listen to this guy because that's how I want to speak about myself. And we've seen it time and time again. There are so many of these morons out there. Now, the thing is, they're not talented. And once they're exposed for what they really are, the jig is up and they've got nowhere to turn, and they just spiral and it gets worse and worse and worse, and they look for people to blame. And unfortunately, Joe Rogan is that guy. But make no mistake about it, if this man turns up to see Joe Rogan, he will be fucking dealt with severely, in my opinion. If on any given day he managed to bump into Joe Rogan, first thought, he'd get fucked up. But we all know Joe Rogan will have some trained killers ready to handle that for him. And I understand, he's mentally ill, and people say, oh, well, I hope he gets the help help he needs. But you know what, right? Sometimes people with mental illness, although we feel sorry for them for having that mental illness, they're not actually good people. They're shitheads. He's a piece of shit, this guy. It's obvious. That makes it a lot harder for me to have a lot of empathy for him when he is just a wanker. And honestly, whatever happens to him, if he does manage to go have a confrontation with Joe Rogan and something bad happens to him, I won't feel a shred of fucking empathy, because he has not only lied to a whole bunch of people, but you can just tell he's not a good person. But look, maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe I'm you know, I do like Joe Rogan. Maybe I'm being overly defensive. You let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. It's been one of the weirdest crash out meltdowns I've seen from an influencer, and his obsession with Rogan needs to end because it's pathetic. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the True Geordie YouTube channel. I'll see you on the next one.